Okay, the story we're diving into today, it honestly sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But it's very real, and it's happening right now in some of the most frozen, remote corners of our planet.
I want you to just picture something for me. Imagine you're a scientist, way out in one of the most desolate places on Earth, and you find a creature.
And I don't mean frozen for a winter, I mean frozen for tens of thousands of years. It's completely locked in ice, preserved in this state of suspended animation that just seems to defy all logic.
I mean, if you look at it, it's completely still. There are no signs of life, no pulse, no breath, nothing. It's basically a relic from a world that existed long, long before civilization. So you take it back to the lab, you gently start to thaw it out, and then something impossible happens. It moves. It literally comes back to life. And this isn't some thought experiment. This is a reality scientists are uncovering as we speak. We're talking about the incredible discovery of organisms frozen for thousands of years that are now being brought back from the dead. And believe it or not, this whole phenomenon has a scientific name. It's called cryptobiosis. You can think of it as nature's ultimate pause button. What happens is the organism protects itself by swapping out the water in its cells with sugars, which creates this kind of natural antifreeze. This stops deadly ice crystals from tearing it apart and lets it shut down everything. Its heartbeat, its breathing, you name it, to a point where it's basically in a death-like state, just perfectly preserved through an entire ice age. So, who exactly are these ultimate survivors? Well, let's take a look at some of the most mind-bending examples that scientists have found so far. First, we have to talk about the time scale we're dealing with here. 40,000 years. I mean, that's longer than all of recorded human history. Just let that sink in. So get this. This is what scientists found deep in the Siberian permafrost. These tiny little nematodes, microscopic worms, frozen solid since the Ice Age. And when they were carefully thawed out in a lab, they didn't just show a few twitches of life. No, they started moving, eating, and even reproducing as if not a single day had passed.
Now, you've probably heard of nature's most famous survivor, right? The tardigrade, also known as the water bear. These things are legendary for surviving the vacuum of space. But these ancient worms, they add a whole new level to survival. 40,000 years in a deep freeze, it's just almost unbelievable. But the story doesn't end with microscopic worms. And this is where it starts to take a bit of a darker turn. See, it's not just animals that are waking up from this ancient slumber. Scientists have also managed to revive ancient viruses, some of which have been trapped in ice for tens of thousands of years. And these aren't viruses that we're familiar with. They existed way before modern humans ever walked the Earth. And in a controlled lab setting, researchers have actually woken them up, proving they can become infectious again after centuries of total silence. And while that's fascinating from a scientific standpoint, the reanimation of these ancient life forms, especially viruses, raises a deeply, deeply terrifying possibility. I mean, think about it. If tiny worms and ancient viruses can survive for that long, what else is down there? What other forgotten ecosystems, what unknown diseases are just lying dormant, perfectly preserved, waiting for the ice to melt? So you see, this isn't just some scientific curiosity anymore. This has massive global implications that are directly tied to the changes happening to our planet right now. It creates this really simple and frankly alarming chain reaction. Step 1, global temperatures rise. Step 2, all that heat starts to thaw out ancient permafrost at a crazy rate. And step 3, everything that's been trapped inside that ice for eons gets released. And that's the real kicker here. As our world warms, we could be unleashing biological things that our modern immune systems have never, ever seen before. It's literally like opening a Pandora's box that's been sealed shut for ages, which leaves us with this really profound question. Are we just discovering something new and fascinating, or are we actually bringing something back into the world that was meant to stay buried forever? It's a thought that really forces us to reconsider what's at stake with a warming planet. The idea that we could unleash dangers we can't even begin to imagine is, well, it's pretty sobering. Because as we're learning, sometimes the past should probably remain frozen.